Hello, my name is Tracy Mentor, but I like to be known as T Mentor Food. Today I would like to talk about people pleasing. I am on a healing journey and it feels so great, and I thank the Lord for it so much. And how I arrived at this healing journey is that I kept seeing a certain behavior and a certain pattern that I kept demonstrating in my life, and it was just not changing. It was certain things. It was just as if I was going around the same rose bush or the same mountain, and I just kept ending up at the same places. And so as that was happening to me, I started blaming a lot of different people for my life repeating itself. And so I must have done this for like many, many, many years because I just didn't understand why was I acting and behaving in the same manner over and over and over again. And based on that, I kept getting the same results. And so when that happened to me, one day I was reading my word and I just sat down and I said, Lord, change me. I don't want to blame anyone anymore. I don't want to keep blaming people. I have to start taking responsibility for my life. So based on that revelation that I had got that day, I God immediately started changing me. So just as He started changing me, He started showing me the different things that I was kind of like participating in, unknowingly participating in. And sometimes when we are unknowingly participating in something, we're taking on other people's way of being, or other people's way of seeing things in life. And so based on that, I took on a lot of negative things in the beginning, and I had no idea. That's why my life was a pattern. It just kept repeating this same pattern. So as I got, through that, and I broke through, basically as God brought me through that and I kept breaking through, He brought me to the fact that I people please. And He showed me my people pleasing, and He basically was showing me why I was people pleasing. And it started in my childhood, and just like everything starts in our childhood. So in my childhood, I kept pleasing everyone in my environment simply because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to be loved. And I wasn't getting that love. I hadn't gotten love in me when I was a child. There was love there, but it wasn't love in a sense of, anytime you're in any type of relationship, it's always should be a give and a take, a give and a take. You give and then you get something. You get something, you give. And so that's how relationships can become stronger and more better as time progresses. However, I grew up in an environment where emotionally the parents were just not there. They weren't giving. They didn't give the compliments. They didn't give the encouragement. They didn't give the support when needed. They just didn't give any of those things. So based on that, my people pleasing began. I wanted to please my stepmother. I wanted to please my dad. I wanted to please them because I wanted them to say, hey, you know what? You got something, girl, and you can grow up and you can be anything and you can do anything you want to do, and the world is your oyster, and just keep on going. And I just, you got great qualities. None of those words were spoken into my life. It was just always a give, give, give. So I had to give, 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 keep putting out, and doing, and I wasn't getting anything in return. And so from that conditioning from my childhood, that made me to go out into the world and, find myself and start putting myself around those same type of people to continue this pleasing people behavior and mentality. And in the beginning, I thought it was okay, because I'm like, okay, I love doing for people. I love serving people. I love, being there or doing whatever I can. And I love encouraging and giving people good stuff. But at the same time, I wasn't getting anything back. That even exchange wasn't happening in a relationship. It wasn't happening. But it took me many, 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 many years to when I prayed to say, Lord, change me. Then that's when all that junk food started coming out. God started showing me, what I was doing. And the bad thing about people pleasing is that you forget yourself. You don't think about yourself. So when it comes time for you to think about yourself, you're too exhausted to even think about yourself because you have given yourself out to everybody else around you. And so you have no energy for yourself. And that's where I found myself, And my people pleasing was so bad to the point if people came around, I would immediately want to do something, just it was like this churning inside of my body telling me, do something, you need to do something, you need to do something, you need to do something. And I was like, these people would leave and I would just be like exhausted. It would be like I just got off the treadmill and was on there for 5 hours straight. Because that feeling of just having to do and do and do and wanting to do and wanting to do. So on my healing journey, God is showing me that was a condition that was put in me. I was conditioned to please people. I wasn't conditioned or trained or formed to think of myself. I was always conditioned to, you need to be doing for people. This is what was put in me. In my subconscious. So in my subconscious, this is how I kept acting every time I went around people. And when you keep putting yourself out for people, after a while, you make yourself sick. And then you're like, dang, I'm kind of tired of it. You don't want to do it anymore. And then you want to just isolate yourself from people. You don't want to be bothered anymore. And so that's how I was getting. I just didn't want to be bothered. But I was starting to wake up that even when you are people pleasing like that, people will start to want to take advantage of you. People will start to want to use you, get over on you, or people, always have those type of thoughts in their mind. It'll be like, oh, I need something, I can get it from her. I know she's not gonna, say anything. She's gonna be right there. So, you have to watch those type of things start to transpire in relationships. And so when those things start to happen and you just feel like this wounded person, or you feel like this sheep that everybody is just taking from or biting from, and they're taking all what you have and you don't have anything left, then it's time for change. When you feel in your body that something is just not right, this doesn't feel right, this is the same scenario, it keeps happening to me over and over and over. When those patterns are happening in your life, that is a sign of your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, everything in you is saying it's time for change. And so that's where I was at, with my people pleasing. I please here, I please there. People pleasing is unhealthy. It's just not a healthy thing to do. Because with life and anything with life, there should always be balance. When you have balance, you will always feel good about yourself. But when you don't have balance, yourself is all over the place. And you cannot perform if you're all over the place. If you got a leg over here and an arm and a head and an eye, and you just cannot perform as whole, as one, as who you are. And so that's the bad thing about it. Also, people pleasing will make you sick physically. It will give you high blood pressure, chronic diseases, diabetes. It is just weigh your body down based on the fact that you don't know how to say no. So now you're carrying everybody else's yes inside of you when you really want to say no. And so it has an impact that is very unhealthy. So that's what I like to say today. If you are, feeling like what I just described, and it's much, much more to people pleasing. It is so much more. But if this is you and this is how you feel, then it may be time for you to say, look, it's time for me to change. Because, you know, I have to start thinking about myself. I have to start taking care of myself. And there's nothing wrong with you coming to this conclusion. It's the right thing to do. Because if you are not all right, then no one around you can be all right. And you have to be all right for yourself. You have to love yourself enough to say, you know what? It's time for me to please myself. So thank you today. I hope I helped someone, and please subscribe and like this video if you like it. And I will definitely be doing more videos in the future. So thank you so much again. This is T Mentor Food. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.